Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Nerd of All Trades, where you collect what you love. Today, we will be talking about Dragon Ball Super Broly. Alright, let's get started. So, again, we actually will be talking about Dragon Ball Super Broly. Not the movie in particular itself. I will probably go over how I felt about the movie during this episode a bit. But I do actually have kind of more of a treat for you guys today. We're going to be doing a triple unboxing in one episode. I've had a few of these for a little bit, so I've been really dying to open them, and that's why I'm kind of knocking 3 of them out in one episode. So I am 100% okay with that. I hope you guys are too. So let me introduce you to our candidates today. We have Super Saiyan God Vegeta, who is awesome, by the way. I'm actually going to move this for just a second. We do have Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, who will be joining us on this lovely new table today as well. And then, this is the one I've been waiting for. We have Broly, who will be joining us on this beautiful table today. And again, of course, this is also what's going to lead me into talking about the Dragon Ball Super movie that just recently released on, I think it was April 16th. You can buy it on Blu-ray, and I've already watched it once with my roommates. It was really awesome. We finally got to actually have the full experience of the theater effect. The theater that we saw it in, it was still really cool to see it in theaters, but they definitely had the volume turned down very low. So when you're watching a lot of the fights, it wasn't as impactful when you feel the punches like you would normally in like a Dragon Ball Z episode. Most of you know, if you follow me on Facebook, I had a pretty interesting picture posted up where Vegeta is now known as Vegetables. So we might have some fun with that today too. But anyway, so these are going to be our 3 statues that we are unboxing today. I'm going to work my way from Super Saiyan God Vegeta. Actually, I might rearrange these two so that way we can go in kind of like a particular order. So I'm going to work my way from Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta all the way up to Broly. And while we're doing this, I am going to remove these guys off the table to kind of give myself some room to be able to open them up. So we'll sit those down there. And then once I get to them, I'll be able to actually open them up and do it that way. So let's start with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So while I'm doing this, let's talk about Dragon Ball Z for a second. Not even just this yet. We're going to just talk about Dragon Ball Z. Of course, I grew up with Dragon Ball Z, and I love Dragon Ball Z so much. It was one of the shows that, of course, after school, I would get home. I would be so excited to watch it. And it was just great. It was just something really fun to watch all together. The characters were awesome, colorful. Of course, Goku was really kooky and crazy, but he was like crazy ass strong, and it was great. It was just a really fun show to watch. I even remember at one point in time, my dad, I want to say it might have been at the flea market or something at the time, but after Dragon Ball Z was kind of going on Toonami, he told me, he was like, hey, so I got some Dragon Ball Z episodes from Japan that we can watch that's actually way further than the American stuff. So when I was a kid, actually, I was like, when the Cell saga was going on, I was actually watching the Majin Buu saga. And I actually got to watch Dragon Ball GT, I think before they even aired it in America, because again, my dad got the movies and stuff from a gentleman at the flea market, and I was like, this is awesome. So of course, going to school being like, yeah, Goku got long yellow hair and all this stuff, and all my friends were just like, why are you lying to us, man? What's going on with you? You're better than this. You know, we all watch the same stuff on TV, so why are you lying? So I would always like, of course, during like computer lab, I would go online and type in like stuff, and then I would have to show my friends that, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. So it was always something. Like, it was just always the talk of the school, and especially when it came to like Dragon Ball Z. Anytime somebody talk, even if you were not a nerd and you always picked on nerds, when Dragon Ball Z was brought up, There was no question about it. You were going to jump in on a conversation. It just happens. Dragon Ball Z is just one of those shows that brings it out of us. We've all watched it. Sorry, but I'm ranting a little bit. But here we go. So first statue to unbox. So normally with statues like this, or at least from Crane King, I think this is Banpresto Crane King. Normally with statues like this, they actually put them in little bags, as you see here. And then that's it. You don't, like, normally when you're looking at like a DC or Marvel figure, they actually have them kind of course in styrofoam, and they have their pieces separated. And this stuff, they're not too breakable. They actually have really strong molds, so there isn't any way to really kind of break this with opening it. So they really just put them in bags and just kind of just hope for the best moment. So, voila. I'm already liking this torso a lot. This is an amazing torso. This is actually one of my other favorite parts about the statue is Vegeta's little cocky smirk. As we all know with Vegeta, he is a very cocky character in the series, very prideful character, I guess you would say. And this just really makes me happy that he has that smirk on his face. So we'll bring out his tail, and then we'll bring out his feet. So, and let's go and open his base up as well so we can start putting stuff together. So, okay. All right. So, as I mentioned before, I got to see Dragon Ball GT a little bit earlier. And as a kid, of course, it was still Dragon Ball to me. So, growing up, actually, I kind of enjoyed Dragon Ball Super. I'm not going to say I enjoyed everything because I don't remember everything about not Super, oh my gosh, Dragon Ball GT. I don't remember everything about Dragon Ball GT 100%, but I do remember certain arcs like the, I think it was the baby arc that was really big. And then of course there was the Dragon arcs with the Mega Shenron and all them. And those are just some of the most memorable parts to me of Dragon. Oh, and the Super Android 17 arc. Those are some of the most memorable arcs of Dragon Ball GT to me, and I love that stuff. Again, not as impactful as Dragon Ball Z was to me growing up. GT was something that I personally enjoyed watching. So I don't know how people are going to feel about that. I know when you talk about GT nowadays, it's kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the Dragon Ball Z series, where you're not supposed to like GT if you like Dragon Ball Z. You're supposed to forget about GT and then jump straight to Dragon Ball Super. So that's that. I don't know how to feel about that in particular. I don't think we should forget about Dragon Ball GT. I will say it was an imperfect show. God, you gotta love when you gotta get into these tight holes. What if I was putting it in the wrong way? Yep, that looks like exactly what I was doing. All right. There we go. Boom. Hey, that wasn't so hard now, was it? So now let's put him on his base. I'm kind of trying to go quick with the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta so I can go ahead and jump into the Dragon Ball Super stuff. Because that's what we're all going to be really excited to talk about together, is Dragon Ball Super. There we go. Whew. That took a bit. So this part is actually not a part of the statue itself. It's something that you can sit in front of Vegeta if you want to. So that would be it. Or you can set it off to the side if you truly want to as well. So for now, I'm not really going to be showing this. The only thing that it says is this is Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, which I actually think is a phone game, if I'm correct. So if you want to play a Dragon Ball Z game on your phone while you're out, Dokkan Battle, I heard it was pretty good. I don't personally play it myself. My friend Caleb does, and he loves it. So I would definitely say check out Dokkan Battle. It's a free game to download, so definitely check it out. So we'll set that off to the side. But yes, this is Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. He is awesome. He is how tall is this thing? Probably about 6 inches tall, maybe 5 to 6 inches. but he is very good looking. I always enjoy Banpresto's anime statues. They're probably some of the best ones I could think about buying. He was only $25, so again, if you're looking for really cool Dragon Ball Z figures, Banpresto is normally the way to go. They have great prices, great detail, and pretty good sizes. Like, again, when it comes to anime stuff, I don't think, besides Broly, I don't think that I would normally buy something like the size that I buy normally my Marvel or DC statues. So we're talking about 15-inch statues. But I think anime ones, I always like to spend roughly about 25, maybe 30, 40, 50 bucks for anime statues. I normally don't like to spend the $100 range because, but yeah. But for fun, for now, since we have Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta on the table, there is a Super Saiyan 4 Goku that goes along with this Vegeta, but I don't have him, and I don't think he's actually released just yet. But this is the Super Saiyan 4 Goku that I already have. So, of course, I wanted to go ahead and show him off a little bit as far as the size comparison. He's a little bit taller because he's supposed to be in mid-air doing a Kamehameha, whereas Vegeta is always going to be a little bit shorter. And plus, even in the show, Goku is taller than Vegeta anyway. So, this is fine. This is a scale. It's always funny because Leanna and Caleb always try to pick on this Goku about his neon pink for it is a very bright color, especially compared to like this red. So I'm hoping that with the new Super Saiyan 4 Goku that's supposed to go along with this Vegeta, maybe they kind of tone down the red a little bit. I'm not 100% certain if this is actually more accurate from the show. I want to say that his red was a little bit brighter in Dragon Ball GT, but I'll have to look it up later.
It's custom. It's a rave Goku.
It's a rave Goku. Yeah, it's a rave Goku. So put him under some neon lights and some black lights, and you got a rave Goku here, guys. But yes, so this is the Goku here. So I just wanted to show him off for a second, since we were talking about Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So I'm gonna put him back for now. Oh God. Whoops, sorry. All right, so we'll set this Vegeta off to the side and we'll get some close-ups of him later on. So on to the next one, which is, of course, Super Saiyan God Vegeta. Ooh, now we're getting into the Dragon Ball Super Broly stuff. So, okay. Dragon Ball Super... I want to talk about the movie first. So, Dragon Ball Super Broly was absolutely amazing. Before I actually went to see the movie in theaters, Dragon Ball Super Broly, we watched the first Broly movie for Dragon Ball Z. And... man, like, aside from the fighting, the story and everything in that movie was just absolutely dreadful. It kind of dragged on a bit, but I will say that one of my favorite things about the original Dragon Ball Z Broly movie is that I really like Broly. So Broly is like the doomsday of the Dragon Ball Z universe. Like, when you see Broly, you know that people are about to get their butts kicked, butts handed to them, and you're just like, oh man, like, Broly is that like character. And that's what happened with Doomsday too. Doomsday is a character in DC that you're just like, okay, when Doomsday appears on screen, you know a fight is about to go down. You know the Justice League is about to have their hands full trying to deal with Doomsday. And that's how it is with the Z Warriors. Broly is that character. So from him going from being like a complete psychotic villain kind of sort of to what he is in Dragon Ball Super, I'm going to try my best to actually stir away from spoiler territory, just in case no one has seen this amazing movie. I would try my best to stay away from it, because actually with this movie, they gave Broly a little bit more backstory. They probably tried to make him a little bit more of a likable character who still has, anime short, like, has those anger problems like anime characters normally do. So I guess that's the best way to explain it. But I did enjoy the movie. Like I said, I do enjoy a little bit more of Broly being quote unquote a villain in the original Dragon Ball Z movies, and I always thought that was pretty cool as well. But this movie, I think they still did justice for Broly. He was a really cool character in this movie. I loved just seeing the action scenes, and it still made me grin really big when he was... whew, he did some damage. Let's just put it that way. So I definitely enjoyed the movie. All right. So this one, as you guys saw, was actually a little bit more simple to actually put together compared to the other one. I'm trying to figure out which way his stand goes. So let's see if I can do that first. This foot? Gotta be this foot. No, this foot. Negative, this foot. Okay, there we go. All right. Woo! All right. So this one is definitely way easier. It only comes with two pieces that you have to actually put together instead of the tail and the torso on Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. But man, actually compared to the boxes are both almost the same size for both of them too. I'm actually really surprised at how kind of big Vegeta is. And actually he looks a lot better than he does on the box himself. To me, on the box, he looks a little goofy to me. But I think on the actual statue itself, he looks a lot more serious in my opinion. But yeah, they did a really good job of him. I actually love the size for him too. I wasn't really expecting him to be this tall again. Not that tall, but he's pretty tall. I think this Vegeta he was either 25 or 30 bucks as well. I actually got this one from ThinkGeek. Oh, by the way, I got to give a shout out. Sorry. I got to give a shout out to Ultimate Comics in Raleigh because they were the ones who actually ordered this beautiful Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta for me. Thank you guys so much. I know I still have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta to also pick up from your store. I will come in and get him soon. I'm going to try to do something first before coming in and getting him. But thank you so much for at least ordering the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta for me. And as you could tell, I love this statue. So thank you. But back to the Super Saiyan God Vegeta. Love the red on his hair. I absolutely love the detail on the suit itself. Again, nothing like too extravagant with the details, but still good detail because anime statues are pretty simple when it comes to making their detail since they're basing it off of 2D instead of 3D. But they do a really good job with trying to get the muscles and everything. They're trying to show like the actual muscles in the suit. So these guys got some really deep cuts and stuff in the muscles. Vegeta, like look at Vegeta's thighs. Look at those thighs. But guys, we have to really focus on this part though. You remember with Venom, when I said look at that butt? It's sad to say, Vegeta got no ass, guys. No ass. So all the ladies out there who was swooning over Vegeta, being like, oh, Vegeta's my man. I mean, for as buff as he is, his ass is a little bit disappointing to me.
The back of his kneecaps has more ass than his actual ass.
Right? But he is worth it. Again, this statue was roughly about 25 to 30 bucks. I can't honestly remember how much I paid for him. I know I did pick him up from ThinkGeek in Raleigh. They had him, and he was actually the last Vegeta, at least that I saw on the shelves. So I walked around the store. I did probably like 10 laps around the store trying to debate if I wanted to buy Vegeta. Because I think I went there before and he was there and it was our only one. Then I came back and then this was the only one and I think it was the same one. So I was like, okay, finally, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up Vegeta. They had a bunch of Gokus that I could have picked up, but if you guys can see behind me, I'm pretty much trying to tell myself no more Gokus because I have a lot. Well, at least couple, like 4 or 5 of them. So until I start building up at least maybe a few more Z Warriors, like I want to get Piccolo at some point in time. I do want to get Android 17 and 18. I think that they have coming out soon as well. I want to get them. And then maybe after getting a few of those characters, I will settle down and try to get another Goku at some point in time. But for now, I can't get any Gokus. But yes, so 10 out of 10 would recommend if you're a big Dragon Ball Z fan, a big Vegeta fan at all. This statue is definitely worth the money. So, just like before, I'm going to move Vegeta here. I'm going to move Vegeta here. And now, you guys don't know how excited I am to open this one. So this one actually has a really, I'm not going to say really, but it was a fun story for this one and I'd love to share it with you guys. So I was at GameStop, or not GameStop, I was actually at the mall one night. And we were walking around, so it was me, Leanna, Caleb. I think we were just out trying to get food or something. So we were like, yeah, let's stop by GameStop for a second just to see what's going on. You know, may not pick up anything, but we're out. Why not? So we walked into the GameStop, and my friend Rachel, who works there, looks at me when I walked in. Of course, she was like, hello, hey, how you doing? And I was like, yeah, what's up? And she was like, so I got something to show you. And when I show you, you're pretty much like, you're going to want to buy it immediately. And I was like, no, like, that's not going to happen. You're really not going to convince me to buy something. And she was like, okay. So she walked in the back for a minute, and I was like, okay, whatever it is, it's probably something small, who knows. And she walks out with like this massive box for Broly. So I saw this Broly online beforehand, and I was like, all right, you know, he looks all right. And I'm sure I thought he was going to be about probably this Vegeta size, or maybe like even about this Vegeta size. And I was just like, okay, you know, he's not gonna be worth it, I don't think. But she walks out with like this massive box, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I was like, all right. So I was expecting him to be, for the size that he is, $70-$80. You know, normally with the size and detail, they normally try to charge. And she was just like, no, he's only $50. I was like, what? I was like, he's only $50. They were like, yeah, he's only $50. I was like, okay. I was like, cool. So I talked to Leanne and Kayla for a second, and I thought about it. So I walked back over to her, and I was like, okay, can you order me one? And she was like, yeah, we can do that. So we looked in the system for a second, and at first she was just like, oh, well, I can't. I think it's actually sold out. So I went on the GameStop app, and I looked up what store actually had them, and I was like, oh, this store has them. Can they ship it from that store to you? And she was like, yeah, you know, let's see if they will. And they did. So this is how I got this lovely guy. I didn't actually pay the $50 for him. I think it was either $29 to $30, or a dollar difference, but let's roughly say $30 that I paid for him, because I actually had $20 in trade credit. There wasn't anything around the time that I wanted to pick up as far as video game related. So why not use $20 for Broly? Because I think it makes it even more worth it if I got him for the same prices as Vegeta, and his size is absolutely massive compared to Vegeta. So let's go ahead and open this guy. All right. Uh-oh. Also, another little fun story, and this is not talking about statues and related. So I actually have this this box cutter here, this little tiny box cutter. And this thing has been with me for probably about a year or two now. I used to be a manager at a GameStop, and this was what we used to open boxes at GameStop. I think one day, you know, sometimes when you're working and you're moving around a lot, you put stuff in your pocket, and then you forget that it's there. So then you just kind of bring it home with you. And that's where it's been. This has been with me for this whole time. So the other night I was cleaning out a couple of things in the living room, and I was just like, oh, this whole time I've been trying to like open boxes with like knives and things like that. And I was just like, I've had this guy. So this is going to be my trusty box opener, like a box opener now. This is going to be what I use, not a knife. I'm not going to use a knife.
Looks like it's going to give you freaking tetanus.
Stop talking about it. All right. So this guy. How the hell do they have this box? Oh, God. Oh, okay, it was taped. Well, there goes that box. When you try to keep stuff in, like, mint condition, and then you mess it up, it's not fun. So, I'm gonna have to do it this way, actually. And yeah, I don't have to build anything. Oh my gosh. He comes in one large piece, and that's so awesome. All right.
He's neon too.
Listen, Dragon Ball Z characters can be neon, okay?
I'm just saying, I was unaware that Dragon Ball was a rave anime from the 90s.
It was. Okay, so I'm actually not that mad about it. So originally, one of the biggest things that actually turned me away from this statue altogether it's kind of silly, but his shoulders. I don't know why his shoulders were just like so big compared to like how they did the scale for the original Broly, at least as far as a few of the statues I've seen for him. But his shoulders aren't as bad as I thought they were, so I'm not actually too mad about him. So yeah, all right. So again, got this guy for 30 bucks, and hot damn, guys. This is awesome. This is really cool. This is actually the size comparison here for you, if you want to see. So even for 50 bucks, this is what you'll be getting. This massive thing. This massive thing. He looks great. They did a really good job for him. Again, there's always other statues that will be better than this, but you'll be spending more money for them. But I would say, if you want something simple, if you want something with a great paint job, if you really love Dragon Ball Z, if you really love Dragon Ball Z and you really want something to kind of like have displayed for some of these favorite characters, please look into these guys. You can go to your local comic book shops because, again, as you know, that's where I got Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I did get these two from ThinkGeek and GameStop, but again, I know some people do have it out for GameStop, but please, guys, if you go in there, you can ask them to see if they can like pre-order some of these newer Dragon Ball Z figures, and then you can actually get these guys at your local GameStops or your local comic book shops. I think they are definitely worth it. You can buy them online too if you're an online shopper as well. So definitely look at some of your local online shops, GameStop, Amazon, things like that, because these guys are absolutely worth it if you're big DBZ fans. I think they are great for the money, and I think they are great for their size too. Even little Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta there. Even little Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. But these are the three that I wanted to open up. But since we gave Vegeta's over here their time in the light, let's give Broly his time in the light. Let's actually inspect him a little bit more to see if I see anything that I don't like about it. Nope, he's great. All right, see you guys later. No, he's really cool. Don't judge me for just rubbing his pecs and stuff. There was a little black dot. I promise that was there. I was not trying to. Oh, Broly. But no, he looks really cool. Even his hair looks great. It almost looks like they ripped off. They had like a Goku statue somewhere, and they were just like, we need hair for Broly, and they just like popped it off and just put it on Broly here. Guys, if you've seen the movie, you know how it is with this green fur that's around Broly's waist. It actually looks really cool up close and personal too. It is probably actually one of the more sweeter moments of the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. And I'm also going to say that, guys, I keep talking about this movie a lot. It does have my recommendation of watching it. If any of my friends who live close by ever want to borrow the movie because they haven't seen it, I have the Blu-ray version. It actually comes with the digital, Blu-ray and DVD versions. So you guys are more than welcome to borrow it. I am okay with letting people borrow this movie because that's how much I want you guys to watch it. Watch this movie. But yeah, so this is amazing. And actually, I told myself that when I did this episode, guys, give me just a minute. I'm going to actually bring down my other Broly so we can kind of see a comparison between both of them. Because of course, everything is kind of like surrounding him. So you got to move like 6 different things and figure out where to put them. I'll put you over here. Don't fall, Vegeta. Oh God. There we go. Whew. Okay. All right. So we're back at it. This was actually one of the few Brolys that I ordered before I even knew about this one. I think I actually ordered him even before they really started talking about the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. And he is really cool. I really like him. I think I roughly got him for about the same price as his standard retail price. So roughly about $50. I'll probably say $60 for this Broly. I actually ordered him off of Amazon. And again, I have no complaints with either one of these Brolys. Their details are absolutely amazing. Even his for the facial features. And just this dynamic pose that you have for Broly, it's amazing. This one is definitely a little bit more standard with him holding out his hand, but I still can't complain about that because all the detail that they put into the Dragon Ball Super Broly version, it's just absolutely insane and it blows my mind. But this is just going to be more of a size comparison type thing and a more just to see kind of like how the differences are for both of them. They both are amazing. You can definitely see the different detail that they decided to go with on Broly himself between the movies. This is his original form. If you have never seen the original Dragon Ball Z Broly movies, this is his original like detailed look for him, and this is his Dragon Ball Super look for him. They both are great. I am still more of a fan of the original look. Nothing against this guy. I love him to death. But again, since I watched that movie so many times growing up, it's just I'm used to this design a little bit more, and it's what made me like Broly. Plus, I like kind of like the colors that they use for it, which I'm more of a simple person. I'm one of those guys that'll be walking around wearing black in the summertime, so I'm more of those simple person. When it comes to like greens and stuff like that, I mean, unless it's a little bit of green in my shirt, I'm not going to be wearing green all the time. But you will catch me in some red and white though, sometimes, every now and then. Depending on how I feel. But yes, so if you find this guy, I know that they, in a couple of stores recently, they've had this statue in stores recently too. He is normally, I want to say I saw him at Think Geek for $80 to $90. We'll say $70 to $90. So he is a little bit more pricey, but for the dynamic pose that you get for Broly and everything like that, he is absolutely worth it. But if you're definitely looking to shave off about 20 bucks or so from the price that you're spending on a Broly statue, and if you are definitely wanting something a little bit more up to date for Broly, then this Broly here is probably the way that you want to go. He is, again, standard price for retail is $50. He is great in size if you're looking for something that's going to be there to display all together, and he still looks really cool, and people's eyes will be drawn to his massive pecs. Look at it. Stop it. But yes, so these are going to be the statues. So let me put this guy back for a minute, and then we'll try to wrap this up all together.
That one looks like Edward Elric on steroids.
Shh. Really?
He does. He's got the red jacket around his waist, blonde hair spiking up, transmutation ball in hand. You know what I'm saying? Buff as all heck.
I mean, that's kind of fair. I get it. I feel you. All right. So, here we go. I will display all three here. That way you guys can see it. But yes, every single one of these statues are worth it. Especially these guys for roughly about that $25 to $30 price range. They are really good prices for anime statues. I know some people don't go excessive like I do when it comes to collecting, but if you are definitely looking for something on a good scale, you had a good paycheck and you're just like, I kind of want to pick up one of my favorite characters from Dragon Ball Z, any of these guys will work for that. If you just want to have something that's going to be on your shelf or just something to display every now and then. I know one of my friends said that he wants to get into collecting Dragon Ball Z figures. Ben, you know I'm talking about you, buddy. These are going to be guys that you're going to be looking for. They're from Banpresto or Banpresto, Banpresto. They are majority of the statues that you'll find for Dragon Ball Z for really good prices. That's who you're going to be running into. They have amazing prices for their stuff. They do great detail for them as well. And they are for all collectors. And normally they actually have really good molds. So for instance, I've had a few of my anime statues fall before due to dogs bumping into the shelves or something. So they would fall, and then I haven't had any of these guys break. So that's really good. So they actually have really good, strong molds to them. The most you'll have is maybe the torso will fly out of the pants or something, or anything like that. But again, you just pop that bad boy back in. You're back to actually being able to display your statues. So these guys have always been built to last, to endure a little bit more. Now again, we have carpet floors here, so I can't speak for hardwood floors or concrete, but safe bet is just don't drop your statues at that point. As overall though, these guys are fantastic. Let me know what you guys think about these statues in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the Dragon Ball Super movie as well, because I loved it. I think everyone that I primarily talked to in person said they loved it, but if you guys had some issues with it, please let me know. If you loved it as well, say you loved it, please, and let's talk about it. But definitely comment at the bottom, like the video, and subscribe if you're new, if you want to see more of these awesome statues that I will be collecting over time as well. Please like and subscribe and give us a go. I definitely want to continue this adventure with you guys, and I'm having a lot of fun creating these videos. But there we go, guys.